Today, I just want to give you the background of what really happened. Did I know that it was going to happen to me? I had an idea. And I'm always saying I had an idea because it's really true. What happened was that, obviously I got this bacteria from my trip that I did in Mexico. On our way back, I remember how we opened the windows there and they were doing some kind of digging, see, and the valley fever literally entered my lungs. The real problem with this is they are good in hiding in the crevices of your lungs, the folds right there, so you cannot just attack them and kill them. So, the incubation period took almost like 2 to 3 weeks. Because when I got back, I remember from my trip to Mexico, that was in the last week of November. On the first week of December, I remember how when we went to Cayucos and Brother Genaro, standing right there, was driving for me. That evening when we went to bed, I could feel the pain in my back already, in my lungs, each time I would breathe, and it just got worse. The symptoms is very similar to flu. How each time I remember when it was really getting worse, I was confined in the hospital officially by the 25th of December, which was Christmas Day. How we have to stop Dr. Jose. Are you here, Jose? Okay, that's my GP there, okay? He's an internist, but he's my doctor at the same time. He had to take me to the hospital when he saw me. He didn't show me that he was frightened about my look, but I didn't realize that I was turning purple already because of lack of oxygen. And each time I would breathe, it's like a stab in my lungs as well as my heart. It's like having a heart attack. So it just got worse and worse, and I didn't even know what was happening. Even the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me until the first week. He said that 7 days after I was confined in the hospital, when one of the bacteria surfaced, and they said, this is valley fever. But before that, it's almost like fighting for my life. Now what happened was this. Remember how I truly remember how one of the nurses came in and said, the doctor's going to come and he wants you to sign a paper because they're going to put a swan in you so you could breathe or something like that, just to relieve your lungs, see? And I said, I don't want that thing. And so I don't want any things being poked in my body, you know? So I looked at her and I said, no, I don't want that. So finally the doctor came, I don't know which doctor it was, and he looked at me and he said, Mr. Natividad, we have to perform this procedure. So I said, whatever, do whatever you have to do, because I just felt like life was ebbing away. It was being snatched right before my eyes. And I think they let my sister come in. She did all the papers anyway. She looked after me really, really well. That's all I could say, okay? Before I lost consciousness, and when I regained my consciousness, it was her face that was there. She said, apparently they told her you only have 10 minutes to say whatever you want to say to him and be positive. And my family was called in several times to say goodbye to me. I know where human power and ability and science couldn't handle anymore. God continues. God takes over. I can guarantee you that, because it happened to me. And the best part is that when I woke up, I saw my sister again. Seriously, I thought I had a new mother. To a point, I don't know if it was part of my medicine or whatever, hallucination, that she was talking to one of the nurses. She said, how many children do you have? She said, I have Daphne. Daphne is here. And we also have a dog. And I said, and I've got 2. And then she was laughing, and I banged my bed, and I said, you've got 3. And they looked at me, and she said, 3 was the 3rd one. I said. So anyway, let me give you the background of what happened. 3 weeks before my trip to 2 or 3 weeks before my trip to Mexico, I had a dream. Look at your neighbor and said, he had a dream. He had a dream, okay? I had a dream, and it really disturbed me. Because in that dream, there was an old man. We were on top of the mountain. There was an old man that was right across the street, and there was this sudden gush of water. But it was raining, it was a downpour at the same time. And I was standing behind the wall of this house, and I could see about 2 feet of water coming in, but it was crystal clear. And I wasn't afraid of it. I was not afraid of the water, and it was passing through me. And as fast as it got flooded, the whole place, it disappeared as well. And the old man came closer to me, and I said, the house. I said, the roof is completely dry, and there's not even a drop of water inside the house after the flood. And I said, whose house is this? And he looked at me and he said, that's your house. And I said, and I became sad, I remember. And I looked at him and I said, could I have another one, please? And you know what? He looked at me and he said, I was just waiting for you. And he extended his hand, and his hand went sideways like this, really big. And yet when I grabbed his hand, I could contain the hand in my hand. And he said to me, I'll never forget what he said, and I have to say this to you guys. He said, come up. And he went straight, and I was following him. So immediately I woke up, and it was very rare for me to wake up early in the morning. So I called my sister, who's very good in Toronto, who's very good in interpreting dreams. And she said, this is not good. Somebody's going to die. And who else was there but me? But it didn't, I don't know, for some reason, the penny didn't drop. I wasn't thinking that it was going to be me. And she said, somebody's going to die, but his life will be restored. And I said, okay. And he said, but it's a promotion. Because the fact that you're going higher, that means it's a stronger anointing. And it's a bigger portfolio that God is giving you. Let's give God the glory for that. Hallelujah. I knew in my heart the Lord was preparing me. I don't know if it happens to you guys when suddenly your appetite to continue disappears in this life. I felt like my life was pointless and I've done everything that I could. Well, I thought anyway. And so when that happened to me, I remember looking at Natalie, because I don't get sick. Look at your neighbor and say, he doesn't get sick. That was the first time I went to the hospital and be confined that way, okay? So I have no idea what it is to be hospitalized. So I fought with the nurses and everything. I'm just joking. Molly would know about that. I remember that time when they had to do some kind of scanning, so they have to starve you for at least 12 hours or more. Oh, I got mad at Molly. I lashed out to her and I gave her the most dirty look. Like, don't come near me, okay? And she did everything to pacify me. So anyhow, guys, all I'm saying to you is that when I close my eyes, let me encourage you Christians, because this is real. A lot of times, when you are a Christian, you travel through this earth with all the promises of God. But the reality is not there because you haven't experienced it. Today, I know heaven is real. That's all I know because I've been there. So what happened was, as soon as I